Welcome to the Hair What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Stewart. Today we have Minnie of Shagnoir Salon joining us again. So far, her episode from season 2, and I believe it's episode 3, is the #1 downloaded episode. It's called Strands of Wisdom. So obviously, it must be some good ass information on there that y'all need to check out.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome, Minnie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, indeed. No, thank you for coming again. I really love the information that you have held within inside of you. And I just feel like people need to hear this information. And also your perspective always get me thinking. I'd be like, yeah. I'm like, hell yeah.
I always wonder if I'm crazy for it, but yeah.
No. So that's why I was like, the only person I want to share or at least have a conversational piece about this particular topic, the only person I can think of is Minnie.
Yeah.
So thank you, girl.
Let's get
I
into
appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. Okay. Minnie, how has social media influenced your career?
Ooh. So I would say it's allowed me to put my creativity out there. I was always into drawing and journaling. Like I have tons of journals I can go back and look into. But social media allowed me to bring in the graphics, the creativity that I used, but didn't really take into like as far as a career, but also add it with my journaling so I can put little pieces of me, of my journey through life onto social media and share it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I love that. I know when I first started, it was just like, I'm just posting.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on here. It's new.
Picture my dog.
Right.
Picture my shoe.
Right.
Right. I didn't know what it was for at first. And I just thought, this is really cool. I can, connect with people from high school or whatever, because I didn't use Facebook as much. But it's now, which we'll get into, I'm sure, but it's become, something you have to use for your business. And I still tend to just have fun with it.
You do.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about your content. It's like, if I want to share it, this is what I'm going to share. I'm not following, like an aesthetic, a certain theme.
Yeah.
If I feel like it's worth y'all knowing, then I'll just share it.
As long as it looks good, right?
Exactly, yeah. So did you have IG first or Facebook first? Since you said you were more it sounded like you were more posting on Instagram than you were Facebook.
So I had Facebook first, but I didn't I went to college for a year. So I never had signed up for Facebook. And then when I came home from college from Texas Southern, everybody had Facebook that was still in school, and I didn't understand.
True.
So I got a Facebook, but I didn't really use it. Instagram was right behind it, and I was like, oh, this is quicker and easier. I don't have to type out my whole.
It was just visual.
Yeah. So and that's the part that I loved.
Yeah. And Facebook was at one time just for college students. If you have a college email, you couldn't even have a Facebook.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I ever knew my college email.
Well, we definitely ain't gonna go there because I know I definitely don't even remember mine. But I remember that's how I started it. And at first, it was kind of like, what is going on? Like,
right.
It seemed cool. It seemed interesting. But where is this going to go? I really didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
And then your parents were on it, too. So it was
later.
Kind of, yeah. It just seemed more on the professional side, like this citizen that you wanted to uphold for Facebook. And Instagram allowed you to take it there a little bit, because your mom wasn't on Instagram ever.
What you say, girl? We're going to be more conservative on Facebook.
Yeah, because people from church are on there. Aunties, you got to,
But Facebook then on Instagram, baby.
Yes.
Listen, no filter.
Have a good time. Have a great time.
And I feel like Snapchat
I was done with it.
I tried it. I was like, it ain't for me. And I'm good with it. I was
done with Snapchat. Wasn't my thing. I didn't find that I could use it for business also. And it didn't seem like a place for creativity unless I wanted to use the filters to change my face.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why I found it funny. But it was for nefarious behavior. That's what I found the app to be.
Yes, indeed. So, and then it's like Instagram, it's just kind of like, I'm not ashamed of what I'm sharing. This is just something I want to share with my folks, my family.
Yeah.
But Snapchat was like...
Took it too far. Too far for me.
Way too far, girl. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had that one in like 6 years maybe. I only bring it out around the kids for the filter.
Yeah, the little doggy, cute cat filters. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I used Snappy Chappy. That's what my grandma called it.
Like My dad,
each other.
what was my dad? My dad was like, at one point with Facebook, he's like, y'all just make sure to face me. I was like, yeah.
Girl, what do you say?
shouldn't have Facebook at all. At all. Take it from me.
Girl, that's social media lingo. I swear it's just, I guess their own hell. I don't know. So, Manny, have you ever felt stressed because you weren't showing up enough on social media? And you know that constant pressure of like, you need to show up in order to get engagement and followers.
Yeah. This one is difficult because it's like I have felt stressed because I have a business. If it was just me, I wouldn't give a damn.
At
But
all.
because I have a business and my business is not just me, a representation of me, I feel inclined to show up all the time for my stylist in my salon. And I've had an issue with handing over that control because there is, as far as my business, a certain aesthetic that I want to have and portray.
Yes.
Because I still want it to be a little sassy.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want it to be cleaned all the way up. So I do feel stressed when it comes to my business's social media. But I mean, it's a 2nd-year journey. You build your, I hear like you build your brand through the journey.
Yes.
So it's not daunting to me.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing because it can be daunting for a lot of people, especially.
It is. I mean, it truly is. Like, I just on the personal side, like talking to friends, hearing like, I didn't really understand and had to have some compassion with people that were like, I doom scroll through perfect people's photos and I start to feel bad about myself. Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
But
you don't give me that vibe at all, though. I know you don't
feel
understand
that way.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I go through it. I'm like, damn, my thing is like, I'm like, I wish I would have come up with that, or I wish I would have had that idea that I had. I wish I had enough nerve to put it on the internet at all times. But then I have to remember I'm building a brand.
Yeah.
So I can't always, or I won't say that I can't. I don't feel that it's the right position for me to always take if I want to just speak outwardly about this or play this game one day on the internet. And it's like, oh, you have a whole salon of also people that you're representing. So be careful.
Be careful how you do it. No, you absolutely have to be careful. Because, you can go viral for all the right reasons, for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes you'll post things and people take it completely out of context.
You'll see followers just
Girl, but that's what's going on now because I think they're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the bots.
Of
people that are following you. So it might seem like there's like a decline in numbers right now for a lot of people. It's because they like going through and cleaning up all the spam accounts and all the bot accounts and things like that. And there is a certain, I don't know which tab it is, but you can go to it.
Something on the top that's like, I guess where it's like, a risky accounts where I have like 79 up there that I don't even care to check. Like, whatever.
And they've taken all of those away.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and it's because they feel like it's spam and bots. I know one creator, she was telling you how to retrieve them back. And I'm like, well, if they bots, honey, I don't need them.
Yeah, so I don't need them. I enjoy the true follower part of it. Like, it doesn't need to get wild for me as far as followers because I appreciate those that do appreciate what I put out because it is, whether it be comical or educational or something that is more on the social side of it. I appreciate those that align with what I post. And if they don't like it, they can go. And I can admit when I've posted something that was probably distasteful.
Absolutely. You can't appeal to everybody. It's just, it's impossible, and I ain't gonna try to either.
Right. I think what stresses me out more is my mom's posts.
Wow.
I need to I just told her the other day, I'm like, Mom, y'all are not marketing to anyone. Like, whatever you're posting is not, nobody knows who you are. They don't know what you're talking about.
So
you're just
tell
putting.
Me, what did she post?
So she does Optavia, and I will, I'm so proud of her because she's lost so much weight where she struggled with this most of my childhood and into adulthood. And she's lost so much weight and with this program she wants to share it with other people, and it's MLM. I mean, it's MLM, but it worked for her. It was the one thing that worked, and I've seen her go through so many different avenues to try to make this happen, but it really was truly like when she wanted it, right? So I'm keep telling her, I'm like, Mom, you and my aunt just like posting a picture of like yourself and like, I lost weight, join me. Nobody knows what's going on. Like you have to talk and share
More
your story.
informational.
First, clean your lens.
Share your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean your lens first. Let's upgrade the camera or something.
Girl, be quiet. Don't you hate it? Girl, I be scrolling. I see a dirty smudge.
Clean the
I be wanting to
lens.
wipe it off. I be like, isn't my camera there?
Yeah. And she's like, what? And it's so funny because now that I have staff and a leader to these people, and my mom was always a leader in her position, I can see where it can become so stressful even for them because she's just like, well, I tried this way. And I'm like, these are all excuses. These are all excuses. You're not listening. You're not. And she's like, well, I did this. I did that. And I'm like, Mommy, I'm just saying, listen, just clean the screen.
Doing it longer than you
share your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people want to see what was so hard about it before. Where was your mindset before? Where is your mindset now at 65 years old with your kids out of the house and they're not stressing you out anymore?
I love that.
People want to hear that. The normal people that you know sitting in their homes just doing the daily. And one day she'll get it, but until then, they're stressing me out.
They just need to understand that you need to be relatable.
Right.
And because whenever people find similarities in your journey, whenever you are speaking about your journey, then it's like, follow.
They zero in.
I want to keep it, keep in touch with whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Because if she did it, and I'm still at a place where I haven't done it, then I can do it,
Truly.
Yeah. So once you become relatable, they locked in.
Yeah.
As long as you can hold them, because girl, they be quick to not be locked.
Just don't get canceled. Damn it.
So do you feel like, did it affect your work and personal life balance at all at times, trying to keep up with the
I think when I got into that creative side, had I not gone into hair, I was going to go into graphic design.
Okay.
Because with me drawing, I could replicate a lot of things, but it's very hard for me to like imagine something and then draw it to proportion to scale. So I was really getting into the apps of social media. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yes.
And people have preset things for me. And then from the presets, I would go in and play and post and see what got a reaction, see what didn't. And that was cool. But then I would find that I would want to break down the templates and how did they do that? And I could do it on my own. But then I'm reminded, I'm like, you can't do this from 7 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning regularly. And that's where, to me, I would clock out from, sleep or hanging out because I'd just be sitting in my bed where I tell people, I'm like, well, the only way you'll really find out how to use it is hours.
Invest
playing with
hours in it,
Yeah, and I think it's important to set a time. It wasn't something that I did because I just got so engulfed in it.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, okay. I've been on Canva for 8 hours. I ain't got paid for none of it.
And that's why I feel like it is another job. I mean, you can hire social media content creators, managers, etc. because it is another job that we didn't ask for. Shit.
I need somebody to perfect it for me. And if they could share my brain and how I want it on posted
get
and
that
have fun
visual
with
out
it.
for you, because that's the hard part, translating the visual to the other person so that they can understand where you're coming
people
from.
Your passwords.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one.
I struggle with that. And I have one team member who has all my passwords and I trust her completely, but I still am just like, what is this? Is there a better way?
Why isn't it? Because we're wearing, not just us in the beauty industry, there are other people that wear multiple hats.
Right.
So we might just want to focus on the one thing that we, specialize in.
Right.
And let them focus on the one thing that they specialize in, but also serves as an umbrella on our business, So it's just, why? I wonder why they haven't created that yet.
I'm sure there's a workaround, but to me, it's too many moving parts. But sharing Google Docs.
Google Docs. Put the D on the G, the G on the D.
Google Docs. What's the other one? Dropbox. All those. But it's just to me, it becomes too many
things.
I'm just take it,
things.
but then I'm like, damn, or access to all your photos. So I've just had to figure out backtrack and lock that up.
Yeah.
Social media is a lot.
It is a lot, honey.
It's fun, though. It's so damn funny.
Whew, you know what? I think in order for it to be fun for me, I'm gonna have to tap into like I was talking to Jessica, who literally just left. Like we just did a podcast together.
Okay.
And I have to tap into where she is with social media. She was like, this is a place for blogging and just having fun.
Yeah.
And focus really, and we talked about this when she was doing my makeup, and really just focus on SEO and stuff like that, you know, instead of like intentionally posting on social media, because it is so time consuming.
Yeah.
She was, and then like a photographer that I did a podcast with last season, she was like, I'm just there for fun.
Right.
And if you want to do business with me, you can resort to my website. She was like, I'm just here to post and leave. She was like, because it becomes just too much.
Too much. Yeah, to manage.
And it is, you know, let me backtrack. It is fun because I do like creating content, but I don't like balancing all of my hats. It's like I like every single hat in my job. I love it, actually. But do I want to do all of them?
No.
And that's what takes the enjoyment out of it, is whenever you do start like juggling all these different hats that you have in order to, you know, run your business. That's what's
been, it's been important for me to like step back and really gauge what matters. My social media matters, right? So I do like to have fun with it, and I do like to have my staff like be creative, and even those that don't like to do it, I'm like, I'll just wait and see, because maybe like I have one that always had this like sour, I feel like she had like a sour feeling about it. Like I just don't have time, but she's a new mom, right? So I was like, I'm like, I'm not gonna force her. I'm gonna just throw these little gems in her ear. And now she's showing up on social media, and her feedback that she's getting, she's not even doing much. She's putting a little product in her hair. She's gorgeous. She's fun. She's easy to get along with. She's just amazing. She's talented. And now she's showing up on social media, and she's like, Minnie. And I'm like, I just wanted to see.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it can be fun. It doesn't have to be as stressful. And what I hear her with her clients, like, I can tell she's made it stressful. And it's easy to do. You know, like I've made it stressful. There's days, and I think it was more like we've talked about it, like with my drinking. When I was drinking, I just didn't feel pretty. And so I wouldn't want to post. And I would find a reason to like cope with whatever shit I was wallowing in.
Right.
And so I wouldn't post. And it would be, you know, time spent away from social media because I was wallowing. And then I'd take a break and, you know, not drink for 2 weeks. And then I'd feel
amazing.
Feel better, but feel like at least even worthy enough to show up online.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important, right, to like take care of yourself, so you know, like when's an appropriate time to like share my story or share what I want to share online. To keep it fun, keep it exciting.
Keep it fun, keep it exciting.
Keep it funky.
Yeah, keep it funky, girl. Recently, I've noticed several beauty professionals announce they won't be as active on social media because of time constraints and lack of interest. What do you think about that?
Burnout.
It's
like, it's so, I guess it was brought to my attention, like really setting those intervals of time. Like it's important, because once you start spiraling, you look up and it's been hours, you know, and the return that you can get for so much effort sometimes can be daunting, right?
Yeah,
you spend money on equipment or whatever. Like one of my staff members was like, hey, can we get a Peebo? And I had a Peebo, you know, one of those
it
that
rotates with you. Yeah.
And I had one. It was broken during a you know, South by Southwest. But I was like, that we can keep spending money on equipment thinking it's going to make it better, but like it's really your passion. You'll find whatever angle you need to get the shots you need right now. But like use the bare minimum. You know, but if you go in and investing all this money and all this time, and then, you know, you get 12 likes, it could just send you into spiral time.
Absolutely.
So I can get where it's too like shit, like understanding like, where do I have this control that I can't let go of? Do I need to share this space or this position with someone else? I offer more commission if a stylist comes on and says, I will take over social media.
Wow.
Why, you know, I'll give you more commission. It's a business deal.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's why it'd be hard to pass up.
Right. As opposed to having somebody else that's not in-house do my social
and actually
media.
see what's going on and actually be involved with your mission and whatever the focus is for your business and how you want to see
And you
it
can
grow.
still take that skill. You'll be practicing it while you're in downtime, whatever. Take that skill somewhere else. Just from
Absolutely.
playing and practicing.
And you could definitely put that on your resume.
Right.
Yeah, you sure can.
Right. So that's what, I feel like it's definitely a thing. If you have to take the time off, like it has to be done, because I've done it where I think I took like a
Yes.
week off. But I just like creating. So
It's fun. It can, like, I had to even go back and check myself. Like, girl, you do enjoy it.
right.
It's
But
just like,
responding can be a lot too, right?
Oh,
Like
my
when you're
goodness.
having you get done with work, and because of what all the crazy shit on your stories you posted all night, you've got like 75 things to respond to.
Girl. And you be like, in the moment, you feel good about posting
Like,
it.
that
You know what I'm
was so
saying?
funny.
And then you getting back, it's like 3 days later. And I always tell them, look, I'm always get back, baby. But
Maybe. I mean, there might be months later I scroll and you see the dark bold letters and you're like,
damn.
damn.
I didn't get back to them.
I mean, charge it to my head and not my heart. That's how I feel. But yeah, I mean, if you have to take the break, take the break. Don't announce it. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't feel like you have to announce
disappear.
it. Yeah. I think either way works,
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I know she's a nail tech. I cannot think of her name, but she stated she just feel like I'm a veteran
Yeah.
and I'm just genuinely over it.
Yeah.
I have my clientele that's established, and what's been working for her is word of mouth.
It's working. Right. And that's how I feel, most of the time. And it might be old school in my thinking. I do think when you are building and you're new, social media is free.
Yes.
It's free. And you can have a return if you put that authenticity and the time and the commitment and the persistence into it.
Yeah.
But I believe that word of mouth is way stronger.
Yeah. Because people want to hear from personal experiences.
Right.
I think it's even better than reviews sometimes. I think right? That person is more likely to sit in your chair.
Yeah. And I've heard, when I first got in the industry, word of mouth travels 10 times faster than any other form of marketing. And I truly believe it. Just from what I get back in the chair, I'm always asking, like, how did you hear about me? But yeah.
Yeah.
And I like announce if you're going to be gone, if you have clients that would worry if you're not online. But, I think the melodramatic kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Like, save it. Because you'll be back. You'll be checking. You're the ones that's actually checking it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every night.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever announced a social media break. I think I just took it. One time I stayed home for like 6 months.
That's nice.
I've
never done that.
But I would log in, just to kind of check, see what's going on.
Make sure you didn't miss anything.
Right.
Imperative business.
Exactly. But like me posting, I was like, I just want to mindless scroll.
Yeah.
And let's see what everybody been doing. That's all I want to do. Yeah. Do you feel like it's going to negatively impact their business in some ways?
If they did cut the cord?
Yes.
I guess it could.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I guess it could if your following depends on like what your following was built on. If your following was built on how you building that social media and that's how they engage with you and that's how they expect to engage with you.
Yeah.
But if you practice setting those boundaries, like this is for fun, like this is not my existence and this is not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm just putting this out here. Otherwise, there's a website or there's a consultation or, an email you can send me to let me know. But I think if you do still keep, the frequency out there that you're doing business word in people's mouths, you won't fail. People will still keep coming by.
Yeah. And what I love about those people, they'll say, she's not that active on social media.
Yeah, they'll support you.
They'll support, girl, what?
Yeah.
They'll talk for you.
Yeah. And it's perfect.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Do you think private studio owners, such as like solopreneurs, are more likely to experience burnout since they juggle all of the hats opposed to like a shared space where you can kind of help each other?
Yeah, I think it too just depends on like what your niches are. Like if you're in a private studio and you love the privacy of being able to create, necessarily don't want to do it in front of everybody, or you have that shyness, and it could be wonderful for you.
Right.
Just being a suite owner alone in itself is...
That's why I asked you, because you have both experiences.
It is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard, and I do see the duality where some people get into a suite and it's like, I'm either gonna run this like a salon, or I'm gonna run this just like I'm renting a chair. Like this is just like my thing. I don't need to sell retail.
Never looked at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, because you see people stay in them forever, and then you see those that like then branch out and start salons, or they go back to being a part of something. It's a lot to put on yourself, and then have to realize, like, I have to create content for just me and what I'm doing in here, and it has to spread so that I keep my books filled. So I do think it could be extremely stressful if that's not what you were ready to do.
Absolutely.
Or if that's not your strong suit. But I feel like once you move into a suite, it almost becomes something you have to do if you're not going to be word of mouth or invest. I mean, who's got tens of thousands of dollars for marketing? So you've got to get creative, and it really starts with social media. It's the cheapest.
It's the cheapest.
Go dance on the corner when your books
Girl,
are slow.
what you say? Dance on the pole. We was just talking about pole dancing. You hear me? The dance on the pole. Do something, child. 'Cause
You gotta make
the way how it's looking right now.
Right. You gotta have an OnlyFans, or I mean, you gotta be doing something. Nah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
it could be
slow. It's getting slow. You know, I don't know if it's because of the election.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like this is. I'm like, was I not just paying attention to it in my 20s or my early 30s?
Yeah.
But I do feel like this one is heavy. It's a heavy one. This whole thing has reached into people's pocketbooks, into their social worlds, into their parenting, their children, raising their children. It's affected a lot of people, and I think it's going to be interesting.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel as though, since, it's this particular election, it's like really, it's a sensitive topic. And I think people are being very conscious about decisions that they are making because of these candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, and they like, child, look.
And like careful of where they want to share their conversations.
Absolutely. Everything,
Where their mental health is right now.
Yeah.
I was just telling one of my clients, I'm like, it was really dramatic, the 2020 election.
Yeah.
And I noticed this just being a stylist who has different, like a varied group of people. But it did seem way more dramatic to them, to like more liberal white clients, where they were preparing to move, right, if Trump was elected president. And so now we're at a repeat.
Yeah. And I think they're like,
and I'm like,
really drawing back now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if not, some of them have left.
Yeah.
So now it's round 2. After a pandemic.
After a pandemic.
With social media. I mean, now I feel like there are, where I typically have a lot of fun with social media.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm like, it's got to go off.
Yeah.
Like I can't look at another screaming child or another erratic behavior from somebody that is completely entitled. So I think it has played a huge part in.
Social media definitely plays a huge role.
Yeah.
In these,
I mean, you hear it all the time now. They're just trying to cut you down, from like reminding you to cut down the time that you spend on the news for the election. I mean, I listen to NPR quite frequently, all day, basically.
Yeah.
And just, they've been pretty diligent about reminding people to just chill out, because it could be too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm going to shift a little bit, the subjects a little bit. Why do you believe rest is often viewed as a luxury and not something that's like a necessity?
I feel like it's just a hustle culture thing, right? Do you feel like that?
Yes.
Like it's more of It's an industry where we're taught to move fast, like make money, move fast.
That hustle culture, like you said,
Yeah.
And if you ain't doing this,
right, and if you're not doing it, then you're lazy or you're not working hard enough.
Sleep is the next cousin of death. What are you doing?
I sleep when I'm dead. I was there. I did it.
Me too.
Like I did not nap. I did not create times to eat food or just with like hoard
go
food
to the
at times.
bathroom.
Right.
You know how we are in the beauty industry.
I appreciate rest now.
It's a necessity. It's not a luxury.
Yeah.
And social media help push more of that agenda to me.
To rest?
No.
To work.
To work in the beginning. It was all about working.
Hustle.
Yes.
Grinding, waking up. You ain't up grinding.
Yeah. Now I feel like it's trying to shift because they see it's not working.
No, it's not. And it's not never going to work. Not in a capitalist society because it's just chasing a dollar. So I have been very serious about that lately because I just remember working, not eating, double booking, hoping to level up to triple book. And as I have gotten older, I can't. Like, there's no way that I don't think it's cool to glorify not resting,
Do you look back then and be like, how the hell did I do all that?
How to do it? Well, yeah, I mean, I had a young body.
That's true too.
I had a young body.
A young mind that didn't absorb everything.
Yeah.
Like you were just on the surface doing it, versus
It was autopilot. Like
autopilot,
yeah. And I don't think with a lot of intention, but now like I was telling one of my friends, I'm like, I'll just find myself like staring out the back door now after I've cut the grass, the dogs are out there playing, and I'm just like, I will stand there for like 30 minutes and I'm
Love
like,
it.
I will be okay with this. Like this is totally okay to just be here with my cup of coffee.
It's so serene. It's like such a slept-on flex. It is.
Because my brain will just go and go and go. So I had to, really put that as a part of my thing. Like I used to just be like, I don't nap. Nap. Who takes naps? It's too hard to nap. But now I will take it out.
Girl, I be gone. You hear me? I be gone. Girl, I always took naps.
Really?
What? Because I be so tired.
Yeah.
Like some, and they, I think some people, are you an extrovert and introvert? Or a little bit of both, depending on what it is.
I would say that. More introverted, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I find, to me, it seems like extroverted people can do that and don't nap. Like after these podcasts, girl, I'm going to bed.
Really?
Because it take a lot out of me to like listen and then give feedback. So, girl, that's why you don't really see me at these social events, do you?
And see, I told you before, my thing was I could get through it if I was just sipping on some cocktails, having me a beer. And once I stopped drinking, I was like, oh my God. I'm not sure if I'm really enjoying all of this. And I have to take it in doses and recharge. But I was able to just push through. I'm like, oh shit, we're going to stop and get a drink. So I'll be good. We'll just power up and keep moving.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I can see that too. Because back then I would have more battery. I don't know why, but it did give me more fuel to interact like that. But not no more.
No. Like we just did ACL. I'll never do it again.
You did say that.
I'm never doing it again. It was so many people. It was so many people that I just didn't even understand how many people got in there. And it was so hot. And I'd never seen that many people. And by day 2, I think I just carried a face by day 2, day 3. We had the wristbands on. It's like, I can't do it. I have to give this away. I'm never doing it again.
And never doing it again.
I'm fine with that.
I ain't never did one because of the environment. I'm like, it's too much for me. Yeah, it's just too much. Like I love small, intimate, settings. I can do that all day.
See, long. I'm even trying to get used to that. Like just being around people. Like in any settings, like small, big, but just not having a crutch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do I really like these people? Do I align with these people?
I didn't want to say
I'm
it.
working on it.
I didn't want to say it, but that's where I'm at because that's why I don't.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times
The dog and pony show.
Girl, it's just too much. You know, acting like you're really interested. You know, and you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not. It's just I just noticed like I'm trying to get well-rounded with talking about conversations that are not necessarily of interest to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I would like to.
Yeah.
It's just not today. I'm gonna get there one day.
We're gonna get you out to one of these events.
Yeah.
I did just do the Austin Area Urban League Gala.
Did you just go?
Yeah, I was invited by my friend Darian.
You and your mom went, right?
No,
was it your mom?
We were volunteering. So at my
Okay.
cousin's, she does Black Mama's Village in Pflugerville.
Okay.
But
your cousin, what's her name?
Keely, Nicole Mosley on she's like on Facebook as that.
Is it Black Mamas at ATX?
Not that one.
Okay,
I think it's Black Mama's Village.
Black Mama's
Yeah, so
Village.
that's where me and my mom were volunteering,
Mhm.
but I don't normally go to galas because it just seems like a lot to me.
Yes.
And where you have to be performative.
Yes.
But I did go, and I had a really good time. I stayed out till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you had a great ass time. You know,
Sober time. It was fun. I did. I was like, I'm glad. I really needed it. Like I was like, I really needed to be at this, and it wasn't a lot of talking. It was just like Black excellence in the room, and I was like, oh, I need to learn more about this group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was your first experience?
With them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So it could just be not ever being around it.
I know.
You really don't know until you go, you know?
We're trying.
Yeah. We all there. It's okay. We're open.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to beauty professionals who feel guilty about taking time off or prioritizing rest when it comes to posting on social media?
I just say take all the time you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like take all the time you need. I feel like this kind of ran congruent with like when that expectation on what you're supposed to do. It's free shit. Like you don't have to do that. It's not calling you. It's not mandated.
Mm-hmm.
But like talking to people about like when they're laid off and they have to get on unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed like most people being a hairdresser, you know, we talk to people all day long about things that are personal. And I think one topic that feels shameful is like, I got laid off, you know, and I just got to get back to work. And it's like, but you could take unemployment.
Mm-hmm. And some people get severance and still feel.
I was on unemployment for 2 years. I don't know if I'm supposed to be shamed by that, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm. What you learn in that?
I've been working since I was 15 years old,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I got laid off. I put my whole ass into this company. It wasn't something I wanted to be when I grew up, but, you know, I was taught amazing work ethic from my parents, and I started low level where I didn't even think most of us could see a position that I got into. And I just from asking, I'm like, I can't stay at $9.25 an hour. Is there any way that y'all can put me over here? And next thing I knew, I was working over here. I wasn't making much more, but it was giving me more. You know, I'm like, I know I didn't go to college, but I can do so much more. But when they laid me off after 6 years of putting my whole ass into that company, I was like, oh no. And that's when I went to hair school, finished up hair school. But I took 2 years off. One to be with my little child, my son who was at home. And I'm like, when am I going to get this opportunity?
That's
again?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't know there was a pandemic coming 10 years later, but, you know, I was afforded 2 months off from work. But, you know, like I took the 2 years off. You have to take that time off if that's what you need. You're not going to be penalized for it. But if you can take that time off and just like come back to center, ground yourself and figure out whatever it is that you need. And maybe it's not social media that you need. Like you said, like bring it back in. Maybe I'll ask my clients to spread word of mouth. That's the kind of business I'm going to build. You could do whatever you want to do.
You literally can. Like whatever's just going to work for you.
You can send out mailer flyers to everybody in your neighborhood and other neighborhoods.
Still got mailboxes.
You don't even have to have a website. Like Nairobi, the product sells. They don't have a website. They don't have nothing.
They don't have a website. Why?
They don't have to.
What? No, why didn't I notice that? Like, I have to, you know, contact, you know, local distributors to get their product.
Amazon is
or
where I get it. Yeah.
Amazon, you know, but they don't have
to. But
a
you can call them.
website.
I mean, I've called them and talked to them.
That is so true.
Selling like hotcakes.
You just got to do what they'll work for you.
Right.
At the end of the day, whatever that thing that you find and it works, just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, that's true. Yeah. I am really sitting up here thinking, girl, I ain't never went to a Nairobi.com.
No.
Oh.
And they don't have any, they don't do any marketing.
Mm-mm-mm.
They're probably still, well.
They've been around for
probably the
years,
last,
too.
you can find them as like Essence.
Yeah, they like the Morton's
Ebony.
iodized salt. You know, girl.
They don't have to do it. Yeah, they're
Girl.
It's
they
already
got the same logo, the same graphic design.
same color. I mean, I asked them to even change the product to make it more clean. They were like,
no, because it's working for us. And people ain't changing nothing that's working for them. Do you hear me?
I was like, yes, sir.
When it stopped working, trust me, they'll do it.
Yeah.
But right now it's working. They ain't doing that.
That was a pointless call. I tried it though.
No, listen, if you'd have never asked,
You'd never know.
you'd have never known.
Yep.
No, it's still an answer.
Yep.
At the
So
end
I
of the
still
day.
buy it because I know they ain't. He was like, ain't that much bad stuff in there. I was like, okay.
Did he say that
Yeah.
for real?
Uh-huh. Yep.
He said ain't that much bad stuff. Like, y'all be okay.
We checked. I was like, okay. And I was trying to tell him, like, just, I wondered how dated their industry had been without advertising and being a part of
Yes.
media lately. And sounds like men were running the company.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well,
yeah, I
you
just
know
wanted
they
to
ain't
know.
about to change.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to leave that one alone.
No, for real. Many beauty professionals, they feel forced to become content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Have you felt forced? Or, you know, like, do you relate to it in any kind of way?
Totally.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, going back, like, there's just times where I'm like, you know, and then to have friends who are in the industry and they can see or have a vision for you, like, oh, Manny, I was just noticing, like,
Not
how
just-
you dress,
not
or you're
just-
the plants, or you could just da-da-da-da. And in my head, I'm like, I don't feel pretty right now. I don't feel like I have anything to give. I don't feel like I want to grab my phone and figure out which angle in the light with the, you know, the blinds up. I don't feel like doing all this right now. So I know that you can see this, but I don't want to do it. So there's times where I felt forced to show up as like what people think is good for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like,
Yep.
no, I think I'm just going to resort back to like the goofy shit or the lifestyle shit.
I feel like I've always been in that mindset. Like,
Yeah,
what do
which-
people want to see? Like,
Yeah.
what do I think they want to see?
You know, and I think that's a valid question to ask. That's funny you said that because I just thought of that yesterday. I'm like, well, and I've thought about this over and over again, but I'm like, could you just get online and be like, what do you want to, because I've heard people say, Minnie, I like hearing your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily love the sound of my voice. My voice is
We
deep to
mostly
me.
don't. Yeah.
Right.
Mm. But
Right,
yeah,
you just,
I
like,
haven't
don't-
heard nobody say, I love my voice.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know?
thought you were saying, no, we mostly don't like your voice. I was like, oh, okay.
No. Oh, my God.
Your eyes, you're like,
no.
okay.
No.
Yeah, you don't like the sound of your own voice.
Yeah, you got a nice little flow. Like, it's so just relaxing.
Oh, that's
Y-
good.
It is, yeah. It's not like over the top. Like, it has like, it's a soothing energy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Mhm, yeah.
I just think of it as like deep.
Nothing wrong with deep, but you hear the feminine in it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
femininity in it. So it's all good.
Touche.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Where were we going with that?
We were talking about, hold on, it's right here. Getting on social media and asking people, what do you want to
Oh,
see?
yeah. Back to that. So like, yeah, I think it's totally valid to ask what people
But
want.
sometimes they don't talk back and it's social media. So how do you get these people to respond? Do you intentionally tag them to talk to them?
Maybe.
I mean, to get them to respond
Because
back?
maybe they would think, I think a lot of people are not okay with like being honest, outwardly honest, maybe on social media.
Mm-hmm.
With in that context, right? Like if they were responding to you, maybe would want to be careful about where they tread.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I like the videos. Like I personally like your videos of when you're you have a voiceover and it's you just being funny, or your educational videos.
Girl.
I love those. Your wedding the bridal.
Oh yeah,
Relatable,
yeah.
right? Because I remember being
you
in
used
weddings.
to do bridal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't love doing updos, but like watching you do them effortlessly.
Thank you.
But I think it's hard for people to want to be like, oh, well, this is what I would love to see. Would it, would that be offensive, or could it be, is it well-rounded for everybody else?
Yeah.
Right? Or is it just like, am I just serving myself by answering that question? I don't know. Maybe that's thinking too much into it.
I don't think so. I think it's questions to really ask.
I think it's a valid question to ask, but yeah, you may not get the response in mass numbers, like in a massive.
Yeah, you get a few. Yeah. Because even when I'm trying to create podcast content, and I'll ask, like, what do y'all want to hear? What do y'all want to know about?
Yeah.
What should the next episode be on? And it'd be like crickets, girl. And every now and again, I'll get a 1-0 or 2-0. I think you should cover this. This is exciting. Or they'll be talking about something that's trending in the moment. I'm like, y'all have to understand, it takes time
to build this momentum.
To create this content.
God, man, I'd love to hear you talk to like Cynthia Lumsey or something, like a wig creator, like how she broke into the business.
Oh, who? I don't know.
She does the colorful Black lady. She does these magical wigs.
I don't know her.
She paints them.
I have to follow her. What's that? You know her IG handle in by heart?
Mm-hmm. It is that. Cynthia Lumsey.
Cynthia Lumsey.
Lumzy.
Okay, gotcha.
She's phenomenal.
Okay.
But like, I've been following her for years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that I've heard her speak a lot.
Yes.
On IG, it's more so the visual part of it that I've latched onto.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've heard her speak, but I would love to see like somebody sit down and speak with her.
Oh my goodness.
Or just like more,
Girl, she making it work and not saying a word.
Oh, she's like killing it in the wig, and you gotta see her.
I do.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm pulling her.
I can't. They're probably so expensive. It's not even funny.
OMG.
Yeah, she's making a killing. I think that's a part of what we were like when I came in. We were talking about where I feel like the industry has gotten maybe a little stale or boring.
Mm-hmm.
Social media just. You have those that are doing the stuff that's not going to get you paid every day, and it's so creative, but it's like, where else can we go with this? But I would love to like tap into, kind of go back into where I was when I first started this industry, like putting yarn in my braids and playing with different textiles, things like that. Not so much for editorial, but just,
oh goodness.
Yeah, I don't know that I could go back to that, but just as a creative outlet. Which I know you could do any day, but...
Right. What are the psychological impacts of this expectation? What do you think it'll have psychological impacts, of this expectation of showing up on social media a certain way? Yes. Do you think it will have some?
Yes. I mean, just being an owner, I can see how it weighs on people, where they feel like they have to look a certain way, or they feel like they have to have this level of education or whatever, and it, the imposter syndrome and things like that.
OMG.
So it's just like balancing that, because I do feel like it can weigh on people so heavily that they feel like less than and stop showing up for themselves, let alone their clients, and then salon, things like that. So, depression, isolation, all of that plays into, like I said, I never even knew people were looking at people's bodies and comparing them and then having to go to therapy to like
I didn't know that either.
Right. But I had people like confess to me, like I'm doom scrolling where in my head, I'm like, well, then unfollow them.
Right.
Because most of their bodies are Photoshopped. We all got hair in places that don't need to be. We all got to fold. We all, you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
Why put that on yourself? But people do that. Like, I literally use social media to like see what's funny. To see what is heated politically, what other businesses are doing, architecture, things I like to cry at, sweet things, animals. But some people do use it almost like as a weapon against themselves. It's what I did not realize.
I did not know that.
I mean, I'm sure all kinds of things will start to arise as we deal with social media.
There's a lawsuit going around right now on social media because I'm gonna say for what you just mentioned. I haven't looked into it.
From people hurting themselves, or
it's
sure.
Specifically children. And I read through the comments quickly. I didn't actually tap. I like learn more.
Yeah.
I didn't actually tap on the what is those links called when you a CTA. I didn't tap on it just to read more about it because I kind of figured what it was. But the comments really shocked me because they were like, well, you could just not allow your child to have a social media, which is valid. But for the ones that have already done it, that didn't enter the situation thinking like this was going to negatively impact them.
Well, now you see like with streaming, like which I sent my son this, but it has already expired because he didn't click on
Look at it, yeah.
But, like when I'm streaming my shows at night, Instagram is really pushing for parents to create that teen account. To stop, because I'm sure it has led to a lot of self-harm, a lot of spikes in mental health. I mean, it's been going on, they said, even before the pandemic, but of course it is skyrocketing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to, settle back into the new norm after the pandemic too. It's just a lot,
I mean, they had Rotten.com when we were kids. And then when I thought about it, like now, and I see certain people that were of like my graduating class that also that were nowhere near me, were also like able to access Rotten.com.
What is Rotten.com?
Oh my God. It was a website that terrorized us as kids. And I remember getting on it in like the computer rooms, the science labs, like computer science labs. But computers had just come out, right? So we'd be in the computer labs and then your teacher would leave for 20 minutes. And you had the new internet.
Go to Rotten.com. When you supposed to be learning how to type.
Famous Beacon teaches typing. But instead, we're like watching people get their heads cut off.
Oh my gosh, it was that
we were
bad.
Watching all kind of stuff. And then, you'd have somebody.
It's just a different thing now.
I mean, it was like, it was all kind of stuff that they had not. It was
filtered.
The dark web.
The dark web. God, I never heard of Rotten.com.
Oh my God, the first like Instagram video I saw of some woman who looked normal now, but she's like, the things I watched on Rotten.com, and I was like, her too.
She's a victim.
We are the 80s babies that got traumatized.
And
I'm like, social media can do the same thing because there are things that, from me having been a child of that era, I mean, cynicism is huge with me.
Yeah.
I try to, balance that as much as possible, but I also do have a dark sense of humor.
OMG.
I'm a part of it. So I'm aware of what can become hugely distasteful for people, even the things I see on Instagram. I'm like, damn, my son can see this.
Yeah.
Like this. And for those who, don't have boundaries set up against social media, it could be super traumatizing. I mean,
absolutely.
just from what people have told me.
For sure. Yeah. How can beauty professionals manage the pressure to maintain an online presence while still prioritizing their mental health?
I think it's important to like have agency to know that like social media is an outlet. It's a way to it's a means to make money. It's a means to express yourself, be creative, but like agency and knowing that you have agency to create the things that you want to create and that make you happy and fulfill you. And like, if you know that you don't have to you have the right to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You don't have to do what other people are doing. Just knowing that can be helpful, right? And just remembering that, because I know it can feel like, oh my God, there's that trending thing. Like, I've got a trend. I mean, if you don't dance, then don't dance, right?
That's right.
Like, it's fine. Like, you don't have to get out here and humiliate yourself. Or maybe you do you want to do that but remember, that's going to be something you have to uphold.
That's true.
So make it something
it's an expectation you'll unintentionally create. Yeah, for sure.
And it could be something that's like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to be this person. We see it with actresses, and then two, I think advocacy, just stay advocating for the things that you love and the things that you believe in. And then be authentic.
Just being authentic.
And I know people hate that word, but just like allowing yourself to be yourself so that is something you can uphold, or you can look back and say, oh, that was just like little me. But now I've grown into this and I'm, there's no shame in any of this.
That's right.
Maybe some embarrassment. There's stuff I posted from, 10 years ago that I'm like,
cringe. Just cringe.
Get it off.
I know.
Get it off.
Especially them old Facebook statuses. I'd be like, girl, what is this?
I know my girlfriend sent me one the other day and I was like, oh.
Like, thank God for growth. Girl.
I'm like, I'm sure I could pull some trash up, but like, as it was a part of me, like I'm not.
That's right.
Yeah, you're not going to catch me out here doing like magic tricks. I don't do that. That's not, I do what makes me happy and just be authentic, love it.
For sure. Okay. Would you agree the constant evolution of social media features adds to this stress? Especially, like how Instagram started off as visual only.
Yeah.
Facebook was more about community. And then here comes Snapchat. And then Instagram trying to be like Snapchat. And then Facebook trying to be like Instagram with the Insta stories. And then TikTok. And now they all trying to be like TikTok. It's like, look, y'all.
Okay, so you're saying, do I think it like alters?
Like trying to keep up because they're trying to keep up with their competition, right? So do you feel like it's being forced on us to keep up with the features that they continue to, incorporate into these social media platforms in order to stay up with their competition?
I mean,
it's trickling down.
It's totally happening. And I get it. I might be different for this question, but I love the new features. I don't necessarily love all the new apps. There's some that I've just chosen to not use. Snapchat I'm not using. Yeah. Twitter I stopped using maybe 10 years ago. And I have not been back on unless I've gotten like horrible service or a flight or something. I need to like put a business out here for them to pay attention. But I love all the new features because it's just like fun and exciting to me. But it's only going to get faster.
It is. But do you think that's playing a role for some people?
Yeah, for sure. Because if that, like I said, if that's not like your niche or what you're inclined to go do, or you don't have the capital to pay for it, it's going to become daunting. I mean, and like I said, just even talking to my mother, where I'm like, you just got to talk. Well, I don't know how to. Well, and I'm like, well, it's on it's showing you how to do it on that. Well, I can't find it, and I'm like, it is. It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
I told my mom, I'm like, I don't even do that. It's just trial and error for me. Yes. I'm willing to sacrifice the sleep, I guess, to learn it as opposed to reading instructions, because instructions for me is just like
overwhelming. Let's go back to overwhelming. It is.
I'm like, well,
I read them listen, when I get instructions, I read them from the bottom up because I be trying to get to the conclusion. Like, what is you trying to say to me? You just said all of this.
Yeah.
What are you communicating? Yeah. Go straight to that conclusion. If I can't get a conclusion, then I'll find it somewhere in the body.
I just posted a story about it, like just instructions. I'm like, oh, damn it. Here we go. Where I had to, like, even as I got older, I had to start telling people when they start giving me instructions, I'm like, stop. Like, I'm sorry, my brain doesn't work this way.
Then they say, whoa.
So unless you can put it in color, shapes, letters.
Visual. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I'm just wasting your time standing here like, got it. I lied.
Oh gosh. I wonder if that's like an artist thing. Since we're visually creative most of the time, I wonder if that's like an artist thing. Because girl, when I tell you, I don't like to play on words. I be like, child.
And like, I have to remind myself, same thing. I probably shouldn't have said that to him.
No, seriously.
Yeah, because even with your email, when I text you, I'm like, the address, I'm like, learn to read instructions. She created an entire email and now you're texting about, I'm like, it probably wasn't that. I know, but it's like stuff like that where I don't think, I'm like, okay, just read because it's probably in there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's okay. I do it too. That's why I think it's an artist thing.
Yeah, and I just want to get to the big picture.
Yeah, and I always tell myself, girl, stop. Yeah. Like, you have to get disciplined.
Yeah. That's working though. It's working though. Like the older I'm getting, the discipline, I can hear the elders in my life is tapping in.
Yes, absolutely. And you should have been listening to them all along. They just sound like they nagging in the moment.
Yeah, but I'm appreciating it now.
All righty, girl. Can you share any self-care practices that have helped you or others in the industry disconnect from the demands of social media?
Yeah. I love to garden. And I love to play in my plants and do those things.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's one thing I love to do. And I also love to just check out and lay in my bed.
I know,
which I didn't love, like we talked about. Like I never really took naps. So over the last few years, I really appreciated just being okay with like laying down because that's not naturally like I will find things to clean, organize, arrange, do that. And I think one of the main things that I've really gotten into now is stretching.
Yes.
Like I'll just like take a
It
little
feels
toke
so
and
good.
just stretch. I think being a hairdresser, we forget how much we don't stretch. I mean, if you're not inclined to like work out, you just think, well, I'm on my feet all day. I'm moving around. But I now spend like hours stretching. And this is a recent thing, but it's like quiet time. I think it's what ended up leading me to the back door where I'm just staring out. But stretching has really let me know where I've held a lot of.
It's releasing, right? It feels like you're releasing something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just recently started stretching like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
perfect.
And I was working out and I would just go right on in and work out. And I was I was like, all right, yep, that's my back.
Yep.
I'm like, I have to stretch. Yeah. That's my back. Like, girl, you old now.
Yeah, because I think that's what happened. I had gotten straight into like squats. I was like, I'm just take a little time out to like do squats and the lunges. And my back went out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I have to stretch.
You sure
I'm
do.
more inclined to stretch than I am. Then once I get the limberness back, then I want to get back into weights.
Absolutely. Got you. So as we wrap up, what final thoughts or advice would you share with beauty professionals struggling with the pressures of social media?
You know, it's just one day at a time. If I look back now, I still don't have this crazy following, but I have fun with social media and I have learned to navigate it just by trying, open it up and trying and just take the content. Take it. You may not be okay with it now, but you might be okay with it 2 weeks from now. You might be okay with it a year from now. You know, like the amount of times we underestimate ourselves because you just don't feel pretty in that moment, or you don't feel smart enough, or you don't feel like you have a dog in the fight. You know, you have no idea what that time is, what it's meant for in a certain time. Like I had recorded videos in my phone at one point. I still haven't posted them, but this was when my son was living here and I didn't realize that he had access to my phone. And I had recorded video after video and I'm like, I remember recording those videos. I was like, damn, I'm not getting it right. This ain't it. And something happens when I do stuff like that. My phone will die. And then I'm like, fuck this. I'm out.
Mad. Because it's too much. Because you don't put too much energy in it, you know?
And my son got a hold of my phone, went through my phone. I didn't know. And he's like, Mom, what? I was taking him to school. And he's like, Mom, why'd you never post those videos? And I was like, what you talking about? He's like, you made some videos on your phone. And I was like, he was probably 10.
Dang.
And I was speaking on a specific topic, but sometimes I would feel like I didn't have a dog in the fight or I wasn't tenured enough in doing hair. Like, you ain't no homeowner. You can't talk about you know? So it's just like silly stuff like that. But, you know, you just never know what impact it could have. Just do the shit, you know?
Yeah.
And if you land on this isn't for me, then it's not for you. If you know, but you may have so much fun with it and you don't have to have 1 million followers to be cool.
The first time I heard an artist say that was J. Cole. J. Cole, the rapper.
Yeah, I mean, but what, sorry.
Basically, he was saying, sometimes I'll create music that I'm not feeling in the moment and I revisit 2 years and it's just, for some reason,
awesome.
It hit. I
got that from journaling. Like I would write down in my journal and things that I was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. And then you go
close it. And then you go back 3 years from now and you're like,
this was amazing.
Yeah, or like that was just like maybe
it's just not the right time.
A hurt young woman, right? Like I'm that much stronger now and now this is what got me here. So I'm grateful that I recorded that to remind me of what is on the other side of the tracks, right? So I find content in my phone all the time and I will recycle content just because I'm like, oh, I didn't think it was cool then, but new me now.
That's right. And maybe it just wasn't the right time. Like maybe today is the right time. That's why you should never get rid of it.
Right.
You know?
Touche.
Yes, indeed. So how can our listeners, again, just in case,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't have an opportunity to find you on the last episode, how
Yes.
can they connect with you from here on?
From here on. So you can also always go to our website, www.shagnoirsalon.com. Follow us on Instagram at Shag Noir Salon ATX. I am at Trichophile, and you can find us on Facebook, Next Door,
Oh, okay.
East Magazine,
Mm-hmm.
Black Life ATX.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much again for
Always.
carving some time to come spend with us and share your interesting perspectives and insights. You always have some valuable information. And girl, you might need to start your own podcast. I mentioned that the last time. You
If I
always
add
have-
another thing to the list,
I
I'm
know.
just gonna run
Let me
away.
stop. Because you know what? I got mad at myself because people was doing that to me. I was like, but it's your fault because you should have
No,
just
just
sat
keep coming
your
here.
down somewhere.
I'll just keep coming here because I could not.
Got you. All right, girl.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You're welcome.
Always.
Be sure to check out Minnie's work at Shag Noir Salon and give her a follow if you haven't already. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Remember, building a sustainable business isn't about keeping up with every trend. It's about staying true to yourself. Thanks for tuning in to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. And until next time, keep showing up authentically, both online and off.